I don't see any reason. It's a very tough race, and all credit to them, the way they ran at Goodwood. But there's no reason why we've not as good a chance as any of being thereabouts again.
You think he's the value in the race?
Absolutely. Why should he be outsider? Obviously, Belmez is the one to beat, but why should we be the outsider when we've run just as well as Coringa Bay and Blue Stag at Goodwood?
Hope the horse runs well.
Thank you very much.
Well, he's a really magnificent animal, Star Streak, and how lovely it would be to see him win for Midland.
Since that run that we're talking about at Goodwood, in actual fact, Star Streak, he had a really miserable run behind defensive play. He was promoted to third from being fourth. But you just watch this horse when he's galloping. He's a lovely, big, powerful horse. And there's a couple of contrasting movers in this race. Belmez, Blue Stag, and the horse Star Streak that we've just seen. Just going in there now is Snurge, who's got a little bit to find with Blue Stag on their run at Nottingham earlier this year. But he's no slouch at all, this horse. He's not been easy to get on the race course, but he's a decent animal. Belmez now 1-2, 9-2 Blue Stag, Coringa Bay 13-2, 14-1 by the others. Snurge looks like being the last one in. Graham, which one do you fancy?
I think Belmez is going to be very difficult to beat indeed, but he might be beaten by the pace. Now, what's going to make the running? Snurge has pulled hard in the past. There's no guaranteed front runner in the race, and as they come for the first furlong, there's no guaranteed pace either. And it's Blue Stag, Willie Carson out on sufferance by a half to Coringa Bay showing second. Star Streak is third. Then Belmez settled into the rail 4, and Snurge is the back marker, held up today and not pulling hard. He has done in the past. Blue Stag leading by a length and a half to Coringa Bay in second. Then Belmez next to the rail, the odds-on favourite third. Mile and a quarter to go in this great Voltigeur. And then Star Streak on the outside shares that place, a length back to Snurge in the blue cap. So they race down to the 9 furlong marker, which they pass, and it's Blue Stag by a couple of lengths to Coringa Bay in second with the noseband, and then Belmez is third, and Star Streak, and the back marker is Snurge. But a mile left to go, and it's Blue Stag leading by a length to Coringa Bay, and then Belmez in third, and Star Streak 4, and the back marker is still Snurge. So Willie Carson making the best of his way home. Only ever won one great Voltigeur before. That was on Seymour Hicks in 1983. And then Coringa Bay and Belmez making his move now. If it's going to be a sprint finish here, we could get a bit of a fluky result, but Steve Cawthon's surely aware of that and has taken the odds-on jolly Belmez through into second place. Steve has won this race a couple of times before on Reference Point in Zalazo. Brian Rouse is third on Coringa Bay, Walter Swinburne on Star Streak, and Richard Quinn on Snurge. They are now heading for home as they make that final turn with Blue Stag from Belmez with the white sleeves, and then Coringa Bay. It gets a reminder there, Coringa Bay. Star Streak and Snurge on the left with a blue cap. He's just trying to quicken the tempo. Blue Stag is sticking his neck out as they race down past the 3. Belmez, but on the left, Snurge is picking up, and so too is Star Streak. We've got 2.5 furlongs to go. And in the blue cap, it's Snurge on the outside, and Belmez is under pressure. And Belmez looks held as they pass the 2. And it's Snurge with the white face. But Belmez is fighting back. They pull clear of the remainder. Blue Stag gives way. Star Streak gives way. Coringa Bay gets the place. Snurge has the call. It's only by half a length, and Steve Cawthon gets a bit of work on Belmez, and Belmez is starting to stretch. And Snurge goes for everything. This is going to be a race, and it's going to be Belmez who gets there in a photo. It's close for Belmez and Steve Cawthon. Boy, is he on form. Belmez has won it for me with Steve Cawthon. Snurge is second for Richard Quinn, and I think we'll find that the third horse home is number 3, Coringa Bay for the North, and then number 2, Blue Stag, and last of 5 of 5 was Star Streak. But the outcome of this great Voltigeur is a photo. It's a photo between number 1, Belmez, next to the rail, and number 4, Snurge, nearest to us. On our evidence, I would suggest to you that Belmez has won. Snurge is beaten, but it didn't look that until the last stride and a half when Cawthon got there, for my money, on the line. Great performance by Belmez, great performance by Steve Cawthon. And he really is riding out of his skin, is Stevie. That's a treble for today, and 105 for the season, and the day is really only just begun.
Well, this race has a reputation for surprises too, and it's very, very nearly sprung another surprise. because just watch the challenge which Snurge and Richard Quinn mobilise on the outside as they come up to join Starstreak. Belmez is just taking control from Blue Stag over on the far side, but he doesn't have control for long. Almost immediately, Steve Corton has to ask him, and Richard Quinn is in front on Snurge. I'd say he gets almost 3/4 of a length in front. What a fight back.
A wonderful race, this. And at one stage during this race, Steve Corton obviously said to himself, they're not going fast enough for this horse. He looked a little bit one-paced when he won at Chester earlier. And I think if he'd left it another second to make his move, then he wouldn't have got back up. His stamina's just come into play. And, well, certainly from that angle, he looks as though he's won.
And it looks as though, as you call the Belmez has won. It's returned 2-1 on Belmez. Here comes Corton back. And it looks as though he's going into the winner's place. 2-1 on Belmez. And Snurge is returned at 22-1. 22-1 Snurge, with Coringa Bay third at 13-2. But there's a huge Citroën-sponsored screen in the centre of the track. Every punter here was turned and looking at it. So were the bookmakers. And that's why they're not betting on it now. Is there any price Belmez, gentlemen? They don't want to take money on Belmez anyway, because it was a bad loser. And they're offering 10-1.